Alright, picking this one up on turn 7. Probably could have skipped to turn 8, but I'm about to make a bad mistake, so I thought it was worth showing. I sell the turtle, and then I'm going to buy a stingray, activate the flashlight, and then roll down. Nothing I really want, so I end up trying to give the lemur 4 health with the waffle. But of course, lemur is a biped, and so using the waffle activated the toy choice. We don't want to take a tier 2 toy over the flashlight, so complete waste of 3 gold. Not the end of the world though, I think we probably expected to lose that turn anyway. Now here I find the Seagull, and what we're going for in this video is Seagull, Pteranodon, Egyptian vulture, and chocolate cake, which doesn't make a whole lot of sense, and you may have seen other YouTube channels making similar videos to do with this setup. If you're not aware, the Egyptian vulture, as well as the rhino, can activate from chocolate cake. So pretty confident that that's a bug, but it may end up just being left in the game because I think a lot of people asked in the official Discord for it to stay in as a quote-unquote feature. So essentially, the pet with the chocolate cake knocks itself out, and since they are knockout pets, that's considered a KO, even though it's on the unit itself. So the Egyptian vulture will get knocked out. It should hopefully activate a faint pet before that happens, but then the Pteranodon will summon it back as a 1-1, and then the Seagull will give that 1-1 unit the chocolate cake, and hopefully it doesn't get killed mid-battle before it gets a chance to activate, and then we can get a second activation on the faint pet. So what I want to do with this, I mean, it doesn't seem like it would make a lot of sense to swap the stats onto a lioness. It would be better to swap it directly onto the Egyptian vulture. But because we need multiple high tier units, I think it makes a lot more sense to just try and scale the shop a bit. And then it's much easier to bring in the Pteranodon and not just have it die straight away if it's on base stats. Also, because of the ordering matters so much, you know, you could do banana pill with blobfish and then try and buff things up that way, but buffing a Pteranodon at the front means it's not going to do anything for a few turns until you get its stats up. So we're going to try and just play the correct order as soon as we find the pets we need. And we did get one of them there, which was the warthog. I was happy with either mammoth or warthog. Both of them are just going to help the Egyptian vulture regenerate stats. However, I tried this a few times and it wasn't working out the way I wanted it to. So what I decided to do was play Turtle as the 5th pet in the team. So we've got Egyptian vulture, Pteranodon 2nd, warthog 3rd, Turtle 4th, and then Seagull at the back. And the reason for that is that even if we scale the Seagull up, it's going to have chocolate cake. And even once Seagull runs out of triggers, it doesn't lose the equipment that it has, which means that the Seagull would take a bunch of buffs from either the mammoth or the warthog, and then when it gets to the front, it's just going to faint because it still has the chocolate cake. So what we're going to do is remove the chocolate cake from the Seagull by having the Turtle give it melon instead. Now we could do that with one of the other units like a Tar or Snapping Turtle maybe. But I decided Turtle was just the easiest option. It's probably the strongest of all those 3. And given that we were running a bit of a dubious build, probably better just to take the safer option. So we find another lioness here. Now this team does look quite scary, but they have no equipment other than the pie on the elephant seal. And elephant seal plus sauropod is a pretty strong combo, but I think it was only level 1 sauropod there. And having the melon on the Seagull early kind of pays off pretty well here, because we're going to get another free one onto the lioness. And then I think I will upgrade the warthog to level 2. We just have to make sure that we don't level 3 anything too quickly. And the Egyptian vulture gets a free melon now as well. So we have the full melon team. But most of these units are going to be sold, so we're not going to have melon across the board by the end of the game. Unfortunately, here is a level 3 sauropod 1 turn later, so we get crushed there by the Jerboa team. And I think I'm going to try and go for another level 2 lioness here. Maybe a little bit unnecessary. I could have probably just spent that chocolate on the Egyptian vulture. To be honest, for this combo, we don't really need a higher level Egyptian vulture. We don't need a higher level pteranodon either, because we're only going to duplicate the vulture once. Warthog is really the only unit that has to have high levels in order to give a decent amount of stats to the rest of the team. So I think here I actually panic a little bit. I'm not sure this was particularly necessary, but I didn't want to drop down to 1 heart. So I sell the Seagull and I bring in the lionfish at the back to potentially tie. Although I guess we've scaled the shop to such a point that we could actually just win here now with this team. And we find another Warthog. But one of the downsides with lioness scaling is that we do need to try and prevent the whole team from just being 50-50 stats across the board, because then the Egyptian vulture tech doesn't really do anything. You know, we would have won regardless of which units we had. So I think it's either next turn or the turn after I'm just going to sell the lionesses and bring in all the units that we're looking for. So there is a Seagull. And I think I'm going to sell lioness now. Yeah, I don't really like having the lionfish in the team. You can see I wanted to get rid of it. There is a chocolate cake, but we don't want to buy it yet because the Seagull will just end up fainting itself in battle, and the Warthog buffs are meaningless. So actually we get the turtle. So now you can see the way it works. The Seagull is going to have the chocolate cake. The Pteranodon, when we get it, will create a second Egyptian vulture, which will get the chocolate cake from the Seagull, faint itself, trigger the Warthog again. Although, as you can see there, we end up with the units at the back getting to 50-50 very easily. So it may actually end up being overkill, even though we're only at the, in the stats are in the 30s. So I think here, yeah, we're passing up the chocolate. Okay, we're not going to pass up the chocolate, but we actually get Pteranodon on the level up. On 8 trophies, we need to buy the chocolate cake now. I would like the Egyptian vulture to have higher than 27 health though, so it's more likely to get a KO if it's a trade. And opposing team is a level 3 hatching chick and they have full level 3 stats across the board. But there we go, the combo activates. And the 1-1 Egyptian vulture would have had a kill there if it didn't have the chocolate cake. But as you can see, with the level 3 Warthog, we end up filling the stats back up, and it was already 2 50-50s. So the resummon from the Egyptian vulture didn't really make from the Pteranodon rather, didn't make a whole lot of difference. But I think it's going to be a different story this time. We lose the melon. The Egyptian vulture at the front doesn't have enough attack to kill the leopard. So we are relying on the 1-1 Egyptian vulture to trigger the Warthog. And actually the second activation from the Warthog was probably not necessary either. But hopefully that's a different enough take on that team since so many people have requested it. Alright, now we move on to some bonus clips, and these kind of illustrate some of the problems I was having. We've got the exact same lineup here, but I've overscaled the shop. I held on to the lionesses too long and ended up with a team that's almost full 50-50s. I mean, partly that's because it's turn 21, so I probably felt like I had to do that to stay alive. But here we move the T-Rex with the eggplant, and actually that's going to result in the 1-1 Egyptian vulture getting killed off. So we don't get the faint there, and the husky only has 25 health, so we can't even get a draw here, and I ended up winning without the combo going off at all, which is very irritating. But I mean, that kind of stuff happens all the time, where the 1-1 Egyptian vulture gets killed maybe by snake or cobra or even blowfish like that team had. And then here's another one where again I've overscaled the team, although the Egyptian vulture was way below the stats on the rest of the team. But we do move the tiger to deny the tiger lionfish, and we are going to see the Egyptian vulture 1-1 faint. But you can see there, I think the level 2 Warthog gave 2 or 3 health to the turtle, and that was it. So that one got rejected on the grounds of being kind of redundant, and the combo didn't really matter too much. It's kind of strange to me that there are so few Egyptian vulture teams out there given the strength of the buff that it received. I know it moved to tier 5, but in customs I don't think that's really a big problem. Maybe everyone just got their fill of it on the test server.